Hello you guys, thank you so much for tuning into my channel. My name is Christabel, the original Power Ranger princess, but on this channel I'm Princess Power Ranger. Before I get started, I just wanted to thank everybody who's recently subscribed, everyone who engages in my content. It means so much to me, and if you have not subscribed, please. It would mean so much to me if you could join the family, because I'm almost at 1,000 subscribers. Holy cow. So, please click that subscribe button. So, I wanted to talk about being Black, trans, foreign in Thailand. What that's been like, my experience, my biggest challenges, and the things that I love about living here, and the things that I love about being Black in Thailand. So, I came here last year on the 15th of October. At the time, I had so many hopes and dreams, and I was going to make this my home. I was so determined to learn Thai and to be a part of the culture. I fell in love the first day I landed. Like, y'all don't even know. I wanted to twerk at the airport. It was that deep. It was that deep. Now, I come here originally to teach, which is what I'm currently doing. And I started working in the south of Thailand, in Phuket. And I was living with my boyfriend, and wonderful. That time in my life, although there was a lot of work, and there were some issues within my relationship at the time, those first 4 months were the best part of Thailand for me. It's when I broke up with my boyfriend, when he left. Now, it's important to note that my ex-boyfriend is my best friend. We're so close. We talk every day. But when he left, I suddenly did not have a support system. Yes, I had him over the phone. We could talk all the time. But I no longer had him physically there, and I no longer had the illusion of him being, here, and the safety of him being here. Because even when we did break up, he was still, ride and die for me, But once he left, it was then I realized that I was alone, and I had to navigate my way through the streets of Thailand. I think if I'd come to Thailand when I was still 24, when I was 26, when I was still young, dumb, and full of cum, it would have been such a different experience, in that I would have really just reveled in the culture of hedonism. Thailand for a long time has been known as a hedonistic hotspot where people come for their massages, for their parties, for their lads' holiday. Other people come for sports, but the primary reason people have come here in the past and presently is to seek relationships. This creates a culture that is very transactional. And you see that in every aspect of society. Now, Thai culture is naturally very hospitable. They're very, the hospitality is like nothing you've ever seen. And the level of safety, physical safety, it's amazing. However, because so many tourists have come to Thailand, so many tourists have come and taken from Thailand, there is this perception that tourists are just walking ATMs. And there is a level of inauthenticity that exists in all of the relationships. when it comes to locals and foreigners, and it's actually sad. Now, obviously, I've never dated anyone Thai. I've hooked up with a Thai guy, but I've never dated anyone Thai. Most of my relationships were like friendships with a lot of locals. And, obviously, coming from a different culture, um, there are many cultural misunderstandings. I come from a culture that's very open and loud and in your face. And yeah, like I'm Kosa. We are raised to be ourselves 100% everywhere we go. We're raised to always be genuine and truthful. And there's even a joke in our culture that when someone's being fake, we say that, "Yak bang," like, "Yak bang nonju," like they're making an idiot out of you. Um, so coming to a culture where, in Thai culture, people are taught to be a lot more reserved and docile, a lot more agreeable, a lot more, just non-expressive of their true emotions. Emotions like anger are not appropriate in Thailand. It's not appropriate to show that. Um, Emotions, even like sadness, like true sadness, there seems to be this facade that everyone kind of like carries. And man, it's kind of like sad, because for me as an outsider coming to a country where a lot of people are so outwardly nice, but there is sort of this seething rage or this seething resentment or sadness or even depression behind all of that, it actually makes you feel more disconnected. It really, really makes you feel more disconnected, because you're able to see through that, It honestly, sometimes it feels fiction, like books. Now, I really struggled making friends with, like other girls, just people here. And even like, okay, I never really tried that hard to be friends with guys here. But the ones that I did, it was a solid effort from my part. And I was always trying to show up. And there is this level where you feel you can never break through. Now, for me, I'm the type of person, look, I don't beg anyone for nothing. Like, I just can't. And with relationships, I think they should just flow naturally and be, you be you, I be me. You know what I mean? So that's been hard for me. Seeing how but it's also been funny because it translates to dating. A lot of Thai girls, I've noticed, will do something called freelancing, which is essentially dating a foreigner, dating like 3 or 4 guys, and they all send you money, and you're with each and every one of them, but you're not really committed to anyone. So there is this culture of, wanting to be the trophy wife. There is definitely that culture that so many women that I've met have, where they want to be taken care of and kept. Nothing wrong with that. Society has operated like that for many years. However, it's so in your face. Perfect example. This woman was asking me how many spicy workers were in this country. And the reason she asked me was, across the table was a young Thai woman talking to a man probably in his 60s or 70s. And she could not have been older than 24. And she was telling him that it's going to cost him like X amount because she needs to send money to her family and quit her job, this, that, and the other. And this was their first date. And I had to explain that, oh yeah, no, that's a thing. Often, men who come here do come here for the sole purpose of finding the prettiest, most docile, most submissive, Thai girlfriend / wife that they can get. And it does become like a bidding game. Now, that's not to say that, like, all the women here are involved in that. Come on, no. But when you are a foreigner, obviously the people that you interact with the most are other foreigners, and the Thai people that you interact with are the Thai people that are mostly around foreigners. So yes, certainly around those spaces, oh, you see it, and you see so many broken hearts in Thailand. Like, love is bought, and for me, like, seeing, interactions like that, and look, I'm never gonna pretend like I'm someone who's never, like, asked guys for money. Of course I have, like, come on. But I've never made a career out of it. I've never gone out of my way to find somebody for the sole purpose of doing that. Yeah, like, it's, and for me, I think as a South African, and especially as a Black South African, I was always taught to be shameful of that. Over here, it's different. So there is a lot of that. I could tell y'all stories. Hilarious stories. Now, that was the first thing that was sort of sad, and that sort of ties into the culture of spicy work, passport bros, and how they treat a lot of the local women here. The lack of respect for women feeds into the misogyny and the misogynoir that other women who are not even Thai experience in Thailand. Misogyny is so prevalent here. And if you are female presenting, trans, especially if people can't cock that teeth, they're gonna give you the same, misogynoir and misogyny that all other women face. And there's an expectation that you just take it. So you do see a lot of Western men putting their hands on local women, and that is, like, to live in a society like that is awful. Like, I was a victim of Songkran last year. Tell me why Brad, when I'm walking down the street, picks me up. I get splashed by water by these Thai women. So I move, and this random dude, because he sees me and, like, I'm Black, female, just walking, and he knows in this country he can get away with treating women in any type of way, picks me up and throws me onto the pavement. And that was probably one of, not even the most extreme experience that I had, but I won't get into those. It exists. Misogyny here is wild. And then, because Thailand does have a culture of wanting to be whiter, and Southeast Asia in general has a culture of colorism, that seeps into racism. And being a Black trans woman living here has been an interesting experience, because in South Africa, I didn't realize how much I passed, because I would walk down the street with fear that I would be clocked, but there was a level of respect that I got given in South Africa. I got to be myself and be regular, schmegular, just Chrissy. Some days I'd walk down the streets looking like a toad. Other days I'd look like Naomi Campbell. But I never experienced the same level of racism and hostility that I experienced here. Now, if I had to compare the incidences of racism, the number of incidences compared to the number of times I've experienced transphobia in my own country, it shocks me. It really shocks me. It is sad that Southeast Asia does have an issue with colorism. And it honestly, for me, it makes me not feel safe as a Black person living in Thailand. And the reason I say that is when I walk down the street, people stare, take pictures, touch me, grab me, hold me. Of course, when I had braids, I had people grab my hair, pull it, try to yank it. I've had incidences where it really was an incident because it hurt me. There was this one time I went to go see, the temples in Chiang Rai, and I was the only Black, person in the group, and the guy hosting the event, he decided to make the whole thing about me and me being Black. And I remember I got to the temples eventually, and I just fell down and I just started crying because I just felt so targeted. It is quite unfriendly to darker skinned people, and that's sad. That is definitely sad. Look, I'm grateful for the opportunities that I've had here, the things that I've seen, teaching here, all of the kids I've taught, they're amazing! And just the ability to have an easier standard of life in terms of money coming in. As a foreigner in Thailand, it's easy to find a good paying job that pays you quite well. But the microaggressions do get to you. They really, really get to you. And it always left me wondering, a country like China that does not have that many tourists or Black people going in is nowhere near as hostile towards darker skinned people. And I know, Chinese people are notorious for their racism, but the one thing is, in China, they're real. They're real about their ish. And I'm the type of person, I'd rather deal with your real hatred than your fake love. But there are a lot of good things that I love about living in Thailand. There are so many things you can buy. You can buy beautiful clothes, beautiful Barbie dolls. You can buy, artificial hair, artificial eyes, artificial relationships, artificial love. Yeah. So if you want a good dose of plastic, it's a great place to find it. I do think if you're starting your transition, this is a great place to start it because people aren't really going to look at you sideways funny. There is transphobia, believe it or not, and I'll make a video talking about that specifically. But those have been my biggest things that I've struggled with in Thailand. Other things like the traffic and, I don't know, stuff like that. It's cool. I can handle it. The language, I love learning Thai. I love the culture, the Buddhism, the temples. But, you are left sometimes feeling here like you can't really trust anyone. Yeah, it all seems very fictitious here. But it's a beautiful, beautiful country, and I'm so grateful to have had the opportunity to come here to be a teacher. And I'll forever, ever, ever be grateful for that. So, Thailand, Kapan Ka. Thank you for allowing me to come here, teach here, and live here. Thank you to everyone who watched my video. If you've had difficulties in Thailand, or if you've had a wonderful time, completely opposite to my experience, please let me know. Love you all. Bye.